at lovedreamingpeach.com.
How are you? I just wanted to jump in and say I'm still here. I'm super busy working as usual. And every day I feel more convinced that women should avoid marriage at all costs. And apologies to the men that like me and follow me, but that's how I truly feel. What I will say is that if this doesn't apply to you, then this doesn't apply to you, and therefore you wouldn't be offended because you know that this doesn't apply to you. Unfortunately, the fact of the matter is that marriage far significantly benefits men in much greater proportion than it does women. I don't know why my lip looks red, but that's irrelevant. I just wanted to say, hey guys, I am so super busy working on the videos that I'm editing for my clients, and therefore I don't have time to make and edit my own videos. But I just wanted to say, if you've got questions or thoughts, especially if you're a woman and you want my advice or my thoughts about your situation or whatever, you can ask. I just saw a little video where this young woman was saying that she has her own apartment, she pays all the rent, her boyfriend still lives at home with his parents. She wants to let her boyfriend move into her apartment while she continues to pay all of the rent and support him as he goes to school so he can get a better job. And she didn't understand why so many women were insisting that she should not do that, and in fact either make sure he pays rent or just don't do it. And the fact is that in cases like that, there are so many women who they are working, they're paying the bills, they have a guy move in with them, they support him, and then he ends up getting a raise or a promotion, or he's doing better in his career. And then when she thinks everything is going well, and now it's his turn to reciprocate, right? So she's going to have a baby, be a stay-at-home mom, believing, well, I took care of him, I supported him while he got his job, his degree, his foot in the door, his career established, all of the above. Now it's my turn. And then she very frequently, not every single time, but frequently, majority of the time, finds out that now she has to do still all the housework, all the cooking, all the cleaning, now all the childcare, and he's paying the bills. And while she was supporting him, she was cooking and cleaning and paying the bills and making sure he had time and quiet space and privacy and all this stuff. And she will find a lot of the times that it's not reciprocal. Yes, maybe he's paying the bills. However, in his mind, very frequently, due to how he was raised in a misogynistic society that's patriarchal and believes that these are women's jobs, that she ends up having to do a huge amount, much more than him. Then, if and when it so happens that he then decides he no longer wants to be in that relationship, be a father, be married, or whatever it is, or he thinks it's time for her to go back to work, or he decides to leave. Now she finds out that she's got this giant gap in her resume, gap in her skills and experience, and he has nothing but progress, going up, success, increases in skill, experience, and pay, while she's got this giant gap that she can explain away. But a lot of employers will think, well, now you're no longer focused, your mind is elsewhere, like what happened to me when I went back to work. And even though I was doing the same job, I was told, you're no longer focused, your mind is on other things. And really what it came down to was that they were disgusted that I was pumping. They were angry that I had had a baby. He literally told me when I told him I'm pregnant, well, this has never happened before, except the one time it happened, she never came back. Are you planning to come back? And I was planning to come back, but they made damn sure that didn't last long. And I could have sued. However, I was so busy with a brand new baby that I just didn't have time or the mental space or the capacity for all of that. So that's what often happens. And yeah, so in my case, my baby's daddy didn't have a job. Right after I gave birth, he didn't have a job. And so he decided that he would stay home with the baby, but that only lasted for like a month and a half. First of all, his mom was there every single day and was doing all the work. And then he was like, actually, I don't like this, and you should stay home, and I'm going to go to work. And that's what we did, and then I got fucking majorly. Now, does this mean I think all men suck, or all men leave, or all men don't really want to be fathers, or all men take advantage of women? No. However, I do believe that the patriarchal society that we live in teaches men and women from the earliest of ages that certain things are a woman's job. It's your job to stay home and take care of your children. It's your job to do the housework. It's your job to cook and clean. Men are taught to expect one day you'll have a wife, and that wife is going to cook and clean and do all the child care for you. And that is what men are told. And then women are told one day you're going to be a wife, and you're going to be a mother, and you're going to cook and clean and take care of the babies. And that's what you're supposed to do. Now, does this sometimes not happen? Of course. Do sometimes women marry women? Yes. Do some men marry men? Yes. Do some men take all of the child care and the house care and the shopping and the cleaning? Yes. But the majority, more than 50%, I think probably more than 80% of women are doing the majority of these tasks while they are still often working. Do I think that some people get married, have a family, are mutually, equally taking care of the home, of the children, of the cooking and the cleaning? Sure, sometimes it happens. And if you happen to be one of those very lucky women, kudos to you. And yet, I still believe that marriage is a setup for unpaid labor for men to succeed. It is a way for men to achieve through the labor of women, paid and unpaid, like I heard that other creator say, that just like that example of that young lady who was so in love and gung-ho to be the support. Basically, she was like, without saying it, she was saying, I will be your mother, I will be your parent, I will take care of you, I will support you, like you might do for a grown child or a teenager who wants to go to college, and you will support them and pay their rent. But in this case, this is a grown man who is her boyfriend. So women, why don't you stop trying to be these men's mothers? Then 5-10 years down the road, you're miserable, wondering why this grown man treats you like you're his mother, why he expects you to be his mother, to cook, to clean, to slave away, to do everything for him. Why? Because that is exactly what you've been doing. That's what his parents taught him. That's what you taught him. And it's time to unlearn those bullshit things and learn new things. So you don't want a fucking grown man who treats you like you're his mother, who acts like your child? Stop now while you're ahead, or if you're already way behind, learn from these messages that I'm sharing. And no, I don't think that just because I've been through it, that's what everybody else has been through, or just because my man did that, that's what your man is going to do. I am just talking about what I've experienced, not just from my own experiences, but what I've seen hundreds and thousands of other women going through. Stop believing that it's your job to do all this stuff. Now, hey, if that's what you want to do and you're all cool and crunchy with that, go for it. I am talking to women who feel differently and feel like this is a ridiculous, unfair system. And this doesn't seem set up for your own benefit. This is not a mutually beneficial arrangement. And you just don't have to do it. Now, some women are like, hey, I want to have a traditional family and a marriage, and that's just what I want to do. You know, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby in a baby carriage, and then comes all the fucking work and the headache, and I'm willing to take it. And hey, if that's what you want to do, go do it. I'm talking to so many women who either you've had a baby but you weren't married, or you were living with them and you weren't married, or whatever the situation is. Now you're single, or maybe you're contemplating it but you're not really sure. And I'm just telling you, unless you truly vet this man, give it 3 to 5 years. Maybe just be in a relationship but don't get married. Make sure you have your own bedroom. Make sure that you can afford to pay all your own bills. Make sure he's paying his half, and that anything that you could be paying, you're putting away in a savings or somewhere, investing it. Do not be financially dependent on a man. Do not allow a man to make you feel that it is your job to take care of him like his fucking mother. Do not give these incompetent men who refuse to grow up and take responsibility for their own fucking day-to-day needs. Do not fucking make them your husbands. And yeah, enjoy life without being a slave to a fucking man. That's my opinion. But at least I had the childhood that I had with my children, so there's that. But anyway, if you're interested in this kind of topic, please like, share, subscribe, and know that I will be jumping on periodically whenever I can to do a short like this, or a longer version, or a live stream, or a long form video that I pre-recorded and edit. Either way, click like, and don't forget to check on my live tab, my shorts tab, and my videos tab. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!